Hi everyone, welcome for this EverChest video. I'm Panda Marasha, and today we will talk about stats. Where do they come from and what is the most efficient way to improve it? So stats come in three categories. You have the base attributes, which are your base stats, such as vitality, strength, intelligence, dexterity, and so on. Then you have combat attributes that are usually percentage, which affect the game. So accuracy, counter evasion, you have crit that is counter by crit resistance, and so on. You get the idea. And then you have advanced attributes, which are uh, usually either for PvP, and they are faction based most of the time. Aside from these four that are global, the others affect one kind of faction like Under Shadow, Roaring Legions, or Union, right? So, where your start come from? Well, the first source of start obviously is your gear that gives you all three stats. So you have advanced, combat, and basic here. And these are base stats. So this is really important. So your gear is a very important source of stat, and on the combat attribute that you have, you can choose a specialty. So as an example, I focus on accuracy, crit damage, and crit percentage, and all my pieces will have one of these stats. Okay, so I do lead the combat stat I want through my gear. Then your second source of stat that is very important, one of the most important, is your archive. So your attribute archive gives you some flat basic stat uh, directly from the level, and then from each star you upgrade in the archive, you get some more basic attribute, and you can see these are pretty high value. So this is one of the most important aspect of the game. You want to work on your archive. You need a very solid archive to survive in this game. So the companion and invitation is really, really important. Then your second source, most important source of stat will be artifacts. So artifact give you combat attribute and advanced attribute at the same time, and these are the main source of these two category. So combat and advanced. So since you have limited control on your artifact, it's RNG which artifact you get, and you usually upgrade them evenly also. Then you will have all kind of stat, combat attribute stat increase, which is great. It gives you a good baseline, and this is why I use the gear to make my specialty in the stat I want. So accuracy, crit percentage, and crit damage percentage for me. You can choose something else. That's because I'm an assassin, so that's where I focus on. So that's up to you how you go about your gear. But artifact first, most important thing is your archive, companion archive. Then your artifact is the second highest source of stat. Then you have your back item. So your back item only affect your main character. It doesn't affect your companion. It's a great source of stat too. It will give you depth, search intel, vitality, and mastery resistance. And then from the archive, you will have some special combat attributes that only affect the skill, not your auto attack. And then you have your first source of what we call inherited value, which is a percentage applied to your base value. So it's kind of important, but overall, that's not the most important source of stat. it's still pretty solid. So don't ignore it, but it's not as important as a companion or artifact. Another great sort of stat is the astrolab. So the astrolab gives you some base attributes, which again are base stats, so very important right there, and some talent attributes for PvP, so that's specialized in PvP. So there again, the base attribute is not that high, the value, like it's decent, but it's not like as strong as companion. So you want to work on it, but you don't really need to focus too much about it. Then you have pets. Pets are inherited value, so they give a percentage, or like you can see the inheritance ratio here of your attributes. So that percentage come down from my best stat, and it increased by 68% because that's the quality of my pet right now. If I have a better pet, I will have more stat, obviously. So that's from the pet. So in order, you have obviously your gear, then you have companion archive, then artifact, then pet, and last you have astrolab and bag accessory, equally important as fourth positions. Then you have some very minor attributes, which are like the food you use on your hero gear, your pet food, and pet gear. All that give flat value on top of the inherited value of your companion or your pet, and that's really, really small. Like it's not a whole lot uh, of stat. Most of the stat come from the attribute inheritance ratio, not the flat value that is added. Like you can see, if I check, it's only 229 stat. This is very, very small. So you don't really have to worry too much about it. You don't want to accelerate it. It's good to get to have, right? But it's not something that will ultimately change the game for you. It's not that big of a deal, right? So it's not the main value of stat. So that's it for the stat and the order of which you want to work on. I hope you enjoyed the video and I see you guys later. Bye bye.